Hey drone nerds, Matt here. I'm sitting down with Kyle Miller, DJI solutions expert. Kyle, how are you today?
Doing well. How about you, Matt?
I'm doing good. Well, thank you very much for sitting down with me here. I've got a little list of questions for you. We'll get right into them. Tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got started with DJI.
Sure. Just very briefly, my name is Kyle Miller. I'm on the solutions engineering team at DJI. My focus is more geospatial and got into drones from precision agriculture, just trying to make a drone to map my parents' farm fields now over a decade ago. And been in a couple different drone software and hardware manufacturers and been here at DJI for close to 2 years now and been really excited about the geospatial products.
So today we're going to focus on DJI Modify. I know you guys are really excited about it. Tell me a little bit about DJI Modify and who it's geared for.
Sure. So Modify is geared for wanting to be able to take a 3D model, meaning a mesh or a texture. We're not really working with point clouds, but being able to take a 3D model, clean it up, enhance it, and be able to share that with a client or a key stakeholder.
And what were some of the challenges that you guys were trying to address when you decided to develop Modify?
So even when you have very complex photogrammetry engines, such as DJI Terra, making very complex scenes, when you're looking at thin structures like cell towers, or you're looking at reflective surfaces like skyscrapers and being able to make very good 3D models there. We've noticed when you go out and capture sites that things are often moving. We're making scanning patterns, going back and forth and capturing imagery to make models. But on construction sites, we may have trucks moving around, cranes moving around. We're talking about parking lots and road inspections. We may have vehicles moving around because we can't always shut that part of the road down. So we really need to be able to take those blemishes that a photogrammetry engine may have difficulties with and clean that up to make it a 3D model that we can then hand over.
And who would be the primary consumer of Modify?
The primary consumer of Modify is going to be anyone that is building 3D models. So if we're really focusing on that 3D model mesh, that 3D model texture. And it can be a variety of construction, utilities, cell towers, transmission, anything that may have difficulties with photogrammetry, building inspections can really be utilized and benefited from Modify being able to clean up the models and be able to share those models.
Tell me what makes Modify unique compared to some of the other options out there.
The reason why I really like Modify is the workflow perspective. So many of the other platforms that are editing 3D models that are on the market are typically doing one piece of the model at a time to be able to clean it up. With Modify, we know that a lot of these assets, all of these assets really, are coming from drones and they can be very, very large. And so if we can use tools such as AI and machine learning to automate cleaning of the model, that's where Modify shines. So we're talking specifically being able to remove floating points within a model with one click of the button compared to taking hours to clean that model. Also being able to remove vehicles, flatten out that mesh, and then being able to clean the texture so you can remove vehicles or other imperfections within a model or filling holes within that mesh. All of that can be done with one click of the button, with automation, and being able to do it at scale, because we know that these sites are very large and can be very cumbersome when we're working with 3D data.
Yeah, I mean, the savings of time itself, I mean, that's great. What can users do to make sure they get the most out of Modify's platform?
To get the most out of Modify's platform, you're really going to need to process data within DJI Terra. So trying out that photogrammetry engine is going to be the first step. Secondly, it is importing in a number of different types of models to really understand what Modify can do. It does a really good point with floating points and removing those automatically when we're talking about skyscrapers and modeling those, where you may have a facade that's mainly just glass and we have a lot of reflectivity. We also talk about cell towers where it's a thin structure and there's a lot of other asset or a lot of other things out of focus around the image where we don't really need to focus on that. We only need to focus on the cell tower. So a lot of those types of data sets can cause floating points where you'd want to remove it. Also importing a lot of construction type data sets where you're having things move around, even mining type data sets where you're having things move around. Importing those different types is really going to maximize the different tools that are in Modify.
So what's your guys' focus here this year? Can you tell me a little bit about what you guys are excited about, a little bit maybe about your roadmap of the things that you're really focusing on for 24?
I can't give away too much on roadmap, but I will say automation is definitely going to be one that I'm excited for. We're really focusing on geospatial automation, being able to utilize a drone that is at a remote location that's going to be deployed to fly over maybe a quarry to do volumetrics. Maybe it's routine inspections of a construction site where the data needs to be very accurate, and then being able to import that via APIs into whatever third-party platform they may be using. It might be something like Propeller or Drone Deploy where they're wanting to do the analysis in these types of drone softwares, or it may be just process data sets all the way into their GIS and CAD software, Autodesk, Esri, to be able to just automate, not just capture, processing, and then data analytics all the way to the reporting side where you don't even have to think about drones. It's just a report that a user may get in their email inbox, all being unlocked from complete autonomy, mainly from the hardware side.
So with the advancements of AI and everything seems to be integrating with each other now, I mean, you're at the point now where you don't necessarily even need to touch the drone or be in the same area as the drone. Where do you see the industry going in the future?
It's kind of completing up that automation aspect, and it really comes down to the inspection and being able to automate inspection. So we can automate flight, data capture, data processing. But then when it comes down to taking, whether it's raw photos for inspection and understanding using AI and machine learning, if there's a part that's broken within the model, or even breaking down an entire 3D model and looking for cracks on the edge of a facade, things like that, I would say we are doing a really good job now of being able to automate all the way up to what do we do with the data. And there are a lot of third-party platforms that are able to ingest DJI drone data that can just complete the full circle.
So I know around the office, DJI is a household name. We love DJI products. Let me ask you, what do you love about drone nerds?
It's a great way to flip that question, Matt. And this one is very genuine. I'm not trying to necessarily fluff it up, but the event that you guys host annually, I believe it's called Elevate UAV, happening in the fall, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it's in October.
I really liked that event simply because you're getting a lot of dronies around in the same location, but those dronies are coming from different perspectives and different use cases. You're getting industries from agriculture to construction, mining, utilities, public safety, just a lot, forestry, a lot of different use cases all under one roof. And it really helps you understand how others are building out their drone programs and their drone fleets to better educate yourself on how you internally at whatever company you may be at to help build and improve your own drone program. So I would say the Elevate UAV conference that you guys host is something that I really enjoy about Drone Nerds.
Yeah, it's definitely our most fun conference of the year. It's hard to go anywhere else and see so many live flight demos and be able to talk to the experts right there. So hopefully I see you there this year. I know I'll be there.
Perfect. Sounds good.
Cool. Well, thank you for your time, Kyle. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, you can put those in the comments. We'll get right back to you. Maybe we'll see you at Elevate UAV in October. So thanks again, Kyle. I really appreciate your time.
Of course. Thanks, Matt.
Take care.